we've done so much. So what we are asking and begging for, sir, is just that let's be a bit, let's use our church mind to ask to help us in our industry. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Has it been an exciting panel? So I'm going to excuse some of our panelists right now. Dela, Arase, Jennifer, M.I., Sam Davis. I want to thank you for your contribution to this panel. A round of applause for all of them as they go back and take their seats. Panelists will just move closer to the center of the stage. And Ramsey, round of applause, please. This is quite interesting, and those of you who have questions, especially the taxman, Tola has been involved majorly in what we've been hearing about ease of doing business and the likes. Most people don't know what it is. It's also interesting. No one has really, to the audience, these are the steps to take to pay your taxes. I'm surprised that hasn't come up, and it would be good for us to speak to that. What do I need to do to pay my taxes as an individual, as a business? If my business is younger than 3 years, do I get waivers? So I think it's quite important for people to know, because if the people are informed early, they will know to pay their taxes there. And for businesses that have declared profit, can know how to put a nil that form for the first couple of months. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The session we are going to now. Okay, we are going to give you just a minute so that. Thank you.
Sorry, I was just telling the moderator the questions you asked that we have not addressed, so that we don't lose this opportunity. Do you agree? Yeah, I hear about this challenge with tax officials who are not easy to engage. I'm taking notes on that. Need to be more easy to engage. I also have taken note that saying that the electronic portals that were put in place might not be functioning once in a while. But let me tell you something. In 2017, the Federal Inland Revenue Service collected 4.02 trillion naira. It is those same electronic channels that they came through. So if it's not working at all, how did we collect much? I agree that it fails once in a while. Please, like any electronic channel, there might be glitches, but it works most of the time. Let's use it. It, reduces your interface with the tax officer and helps you do your business, your tax business easier. Let's engage them. Look at the pamphlets we're giving you. They work most of the time. Now, we need to do more industry-focused engagements. I take that we need to do this kind of sensation and education programs focused on industries, and especially the SMEs. I take note of that. I'll relay back to my management. How many seek proper advice? That has been addressed. We need to encourage investment in SMEs. We take note of that also and grant you more incentives. Tax authorities need to understand industry better. Yes, I agree with that. Because if you don't understand the dynamics of industry well, you might not be able to understand them well. I totally agree with you. This issue of keeping records, it's important. Please, you need to keep records for your business, not just for the tax man, because it helps you discipline business. You need to know what are your income and how are you spending your money, so that you don't fritter away your capital and find that you're bankrupt early. And it's in keeping record that you can begin to name things. For example, when Rami talked about, what we call social ATM, do this for this, do that. Look, the truth matter is that, if If you get proper advice, they can tell you to call that and charges against your profit. And the taxman will write, get advice. Yes, get advice. Now, go back to this issue. The question asked that we need to be clear about what you need to do to comply with tax. Let me go this quickly again. You have started a business, either as a company or a business name. What it requires for you, if your business name is that you need to register with the tax office. Get 18. T is free. Learn this. Like the lady sitting here said, you need to be bold. You are a businessman. If you have a challenge with the tax office, go to the office and ask to see the head of the office. Don't allow someone to block you by the gate. You're a business entrepreneur. You're the owner of your business. Insist, I want to see the head of the office. And if you make enough noise at the reception, the head will likely come there and say, what's happening here? So don't be intimidated. People tell you to go away and I'm funny some. Insist, I want to see the head of the office. I don't understand what the staff are saying to me. So the rule is that please, by the 31st of March every year, you are a small business name, you should file your income and expenditure statement with the office after 18. 31st every year. I made 100,000. I spent 120. I have a loss of 20,000. Income statement, file it. I have nil return. File that return. 31st. That's the rule. If you have collected VAT from the customer, return it 21 days after the end of the month. If you have more than 5 staff and above, you are expected by law to withhold payee and remit it 10 days after the end of the month. If you look at the materials you are given, they are all there. Just take time to read it. Don't be put off by the tax materials like this tax people again. Please read to help your business. You know, you have taken withholding tax for contractors, remit after 10 days at the end of the month. Very simple. You need tax clearance. Apply. The rule says that you should be given tax clearance under 2 weeks. If you are not given, the tax office, state or federal, should give you a reason in writing. If you don't get, walk to the head of the office. Now, most of you are in FCT. I understand there's a transition on. If FCT internal service has been set up, they are began to operate. FIRS used to handle all FCT tax payers. We are transitioning. If your business is new, go to the FCT office nearest to you. If it's an old business, you'll be following FIRS. Ensure that anything you need, you go to the nearest FIRS office. They will tell you, because they are handing over the tax records in phases. They will tell you whether they have handed over yours or it's still them. There's no gap. What we're saying is that if you engage, you can deal with this issue. It is not difficult. If we don't get you to tax, how do we meet our target? If we make it difficult for you, how do we meet our target? How do we get money for the government to serve? I go back to what I've said. The major problem we have with tax compliance is not too much a tax collector. The feeling is that what are they using our money for? In many countries where tax compliance is very high, because people enjoy services of government. I'm a Nigerian. I go to other countries, I see services enjoyed from government. Once again, you have an opportunity where you're not satisfied with what the user of the money is doing to your money. Go vote. When they know that you are going to vote them out, they'll use your money well.
Thank you very much, Mr. Femi. I just wanted to flag a number of things, and I'll just because of time. I think, and The person from Manoa Ajayi said it some minutes ago. I think you can understate the importance of getting information. You can't understate the importance of being aware. And you can't understate the importance of using professional service providers or those that understand the tax system. The truth is, you will be surprised how much less obligations you actually can incur. One of the things he said over and over again, and I hope you heard it, was that you actually can declare nil returns or taxes. That's one major one. But I'll just flag a number of other important ones I'd listed. One of those very interesting ones that people do not know is that you're actually entitled to some deductions for wear and tear on your capital expenditure. That's one. So that means, for instance, if you bought a massive, you spent massively on, say, some assets, you can deductions for wear and tear use. That's one. Another interesting one is that you're supposed to pay capital gains on when you dispose of an asset. But the law says if you invest that same money buying an asset of the same class, you can defer paying your loans. So, for instance, if I bought a gen 2 million and I've used it for a while and I want to sell it for, say, $1 million, if I invested in buying another gen, I don't have to pay capital gains as at that time. And you just need to know that. And there's several other ones I can keep listing. For instance, one of the things, the social aid, incorporate an NGO. There's a number of interesting legal ways you could around escaping some of these tax liabilities by just structuring your systems properly. Another interesting one is if you're bringing money in, say you get foreign investment, get your capital importation license. Find out sectors that the government has incentives for, and then prioritize those sectors. So, for instance, at the priority status, I know there are some arduous requirements, but there are cases in which members of a class of an industry can pool funds together and start a company and qualify for those requirements. The point is there are a lot of interesting systems, and they're not evading tax. It's just tax avoidance. It's just structuring your tax affairs in a way. For instance, your pension. You don't pay taxes on your pension. Your pension contributes by 8%. Increase pension contribution and you will pay less. So if your salary is 100,000 naira, and already 8% of that, right? If you increase your pension contribution, that reduces the amount of money you're supposed to pay your taxes on. So the truth is there are a number of interesting things you can do with your affairs and pay less tax, right? So the point is, like I said, I can't say it, getting proper information, structuring your affairs properly, using professional service providers. But the truth is, the tax systems are not as arduous if you get proper information. It's just like every other.
Thank you. Please, a round of applause. Thank you very much. He just made mention of something. He made mention of evasion and avoidance. I believe we have a timeline of 7 p.m. We promise you we'll leave here before then. That is very sure. I will like to invite, welcome Mr. Osuji, Mr. Shuji Ogundele, at least to give us, to educate us on what evasion and avoidance is all about.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your patience, the audience, and for having us here. But I think that this forum, it's as important as having the structure of this forum very clear. If we look at all the questions that's been asked and everything, we've been throwing a lot of questions at the IRS and throwing a lot of questions at the 80% of our questions have been directed to the FIRS, which comes back to the tax triangular threesome I illustrated. And obviously right now, we experience that we, the taxpayers, are here. The tax collector is here. But your guy, where is he? You understand me? So please, let's make sure that we separate the taxman's responsibility. So it boils back to responsibility. Taxation is not discriminating on the poor or trying to hit on the rich. Taxation is about creating a competitive fiscal policy that is benefit to all. And if we are able to say, what is the responsibility of the taxman? The tax responsibility, this would be, and please correct me if I'm wrong, sir. The taxman's responsibility is to collect. It's not to give, to collect on behalf of government. No? And the taxman sends the money, complete his triangular business, the money to government. Government's responsibility, which actually, Mr. Charles Okpaleke, next time, when we're organizing type of forum, let's have a government official here so we can direct those questions to them. So if I was a CEO of Nigeria PLC, if I was the CEO of Nigeria PLC, I will employ Babatunde Fowler. I'll tell you why. In today's government, there are very few sectors and industries. There are very few ministries or parastatals agencies that are as effective as the tax. Because responsibility is what? Collect tax. Their responsibility is not collect and build school. That is the responsibility of the government. So let me just go straight to Bostress. To me, the responsibility of an entrepreneur is not only to generate capital, but to complete our civic duty and be tax compliant. And we might start talking about the Peter and the CETA Law Act and start saying, okay, we want to change it. But the international definition or the responsibility of an entrepreneur, which I am part of, is that we should be able to say, I've paid my taxes and to go and question the government. That is our responsibility. But what is tax compliance? And when we qualify for tax evasion? Let's say 180 million Nigerians, we are 180 million Nigerians, but who are those responsible for these tax obligations? Who must pay taxes? What shows us that about 90 million Nigerians are eligible to pay taxes, but only 13 million of the people pay taxes. And out of these 13 million, about 80% of them are from one state, which is Lagos State. So this enormous civic obligational gap tells us that there is a huge fiscal dividends from tax generation in Nigeria. But how does government want to take advantage of these huge dividends? Is by creating infrastructures and etc. Another question is, why must people pay taxes? Why must you be compliant to that same state that clearly since 1961, in different perspectives, has denied citizens of their fundamental rights? What are these fundamental rights? When I wake up, I must have light without the burden of a generator in my ears. When I walk on roads, I need a good road where it leads me to go to work every day. When my children go to school, there must be an affordable educational system that allows educate my children and helps them build their future. So these are the obligations, that fundamental rights that people say, okay, don't give that, I don't pay tax. That breach of trust, the government must try to repair that breach of that historical breach of trust that they have created in the vicinity. Sorry, 1 minute, sir. But tax evasion is a criminal offense, please. Let me just be honest. Tax evasion is a criminal offense. In 2005, Mikhail Khodorkovsky brought down a multi-billion-dollar empire for tax-related offenses, and he went to jail for 8 years. Just 2 years ago, Lionel Messi, the great footballer I know, was convicted for 20 months jail sentence. He was convicted for 21 months in jail, though he didn't go to jail. Suspended sentence for tax-related offenses. So I advise us to complete our civic obligation. Let's complete it first. Then later we can go to the government, just like the Ghanaians can hold the government responsible. That I've paid my tax. Now I want to hold you responsible. The same civic obligation is what drove South Africans to remove a sitting president, because the South Africans know that I pay taxes to these guys every day. Oh yeah, you've not completed your obligations, your government obligations, the contractual rights have been completed, and they remove the sitting government. So I think this is a triangular, the triangular thing must be completed. The government, we must ask government to complete their obligations. We ourselves, business owners, we must be proud taxpayers. We must be say, okay, yeah, I'm a taxpayer. Even Jesus Christ told Peter, give to Caesar what belongs to him. you know. So please, that's my very little opinion.
Thank you
time
very much.
for that.
Please, round
Thank
of
you.
applause for him. Before we move to the final stage, it's just education. I think in the task realm today, if you go here and there, you'll be hearing is about this. That's what is on ground. So people thought, I want to believe that maybe it's another form of tax. But we have Mr. Femi in our midst today. Under the next 3 minutes, he will tell us much about this, the benefits of taking advantage of the window. Oh, are we going to extend the period which is already expiring in a couple of days? Or what will happen? If you go down to Wuse 2, you see that there is tax tribunal building there. Who are these meant for? Please, Mr. Femi, a round of applause for him.
Thank you, Bojo. Ladies and gentlemen, it's voluntary asset and income declaration scheme, like a tax amnesty in simple terms. You have defaulted on paying your tax past 6 years. We'll go back 6 years. You now have an opportunity to come forward and declare the income that you have failed to pay tax on. If you declare it and pay the taxes due, ordinarily, the tax office, whether a state, if you are an individual, or a company, if you are, you go to FRS, we should impose penalty and interest. So it's not only that you should pay the tax, you have been using government money for the past 6 years, you pay penalty and interest. All that underage will be waived. All you need to now do is just clear, and there you go and see no more. The room has been given 9 months from 1st of July, expiring 31st of March. Like my moderator said, it's almost here. I don't know whether there will be an extension. It's not about power. That was an executive order from the president. It's a political decision. All we need to do is, appeal to you. If you know this applies to you, come clean. Because government has information, has access to information about incomes of many persons and companies that have not been declared tax. After this period, 31st of March, there will be some sanction and precaution. As at now, state and federal have generated 20 billion naira from those who have come forward. The expectation is that we will get above 300 billion. There's still a gap. It means that many are still out there. Like they say, Nigerians think to the last moment, like we did during the BVN. But if I were anybody and I have a tax amnesty, I have not been paying my tax. I have been because they deduct my salary every month or 2 months. The rest of us, over you, it's an amnesty, it's an incentive to comply. I feel it's something we should take advantage of and do it before the close of the program. Once again, that's all I can say. Whether there's going to be a station, I can't say. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Please, let's hear from Mr. Tokunbo Ramsey about, so that we bring it
All right.
up.
In all honesty, after the story for today and this evening, I've learned, I find it quite insightful, everything today. So, most definitely, it's very key that we oblige and pay our taxes. It's very important, it's imperative. It's inevitable. So you have to. And if you don't, it's illegal. It's against law. So the longer the law is going to probably catch up with you sometime soon. That is said. So we'll fulfill my part. I'll fulfill my obligation as a good citizen of Nigeria. Expectation is, will my government fulfill his part? And that's where I have my statement for the day. Thank you.
I just wanted to say one last comment, right? And it falls back on what Ramsey last. And this is, I think we've got to get past our 4-year cycle of democracy, right? Where what happens is that we think democracy or our play in the system is only voting the government in. I think there's a lot that happens in that 4-year cycle. There's a question of holding the government accountable to its budget. There's a question of recalling members of your representatives at different states and national assemblies that you do not believe in. There are questions of, and I think the more that becomes robust, the more people begin to understand that the system works. I think the biggest problem with Nigerian democracy is one thing. People don't actually believe that their votes count. And the reason a lot of people don't believe their votes count is simple. It is that I think one person can get elected whether I help him or not. But the truth is nobody can take on 180 million people successful. It's not possible. So the truth is, until we get the system robust, where beyond me voting, I'm holding my government accountable, I'm protesting when I need to protest, I'm recalling a senator or a rep person I know is doing the right thing, I'm standing for the things I believe are right, I'm showing up at public hearings on important bills, I'm protesting, until that becomes a robust cycle, where I know that my voice does count. Then what that means that a lot more people will believe and know that their votes count. And the more that cycle starts, people will hold governments accountable. And the moment that change process begins, that governments will be a lot more reactive to knowing that they have to be accountable to who they have voted them in. I think that's an important close to this conversation. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to put in some pillars there. Yeah, well, thank you very much. But in honesty, I'm looking at myself like going to stand at the Senate and say, okay, yes, I'm standing for this bill, or I want this to be passed and all of that. I have lots of mouths to feed. Jesus, my kids are there. I have to pay for schools. I have to, and I'm thinking I'm trying to find that same time to still tell the government on how to do their job or what to do their job and all of that. That's pretty hectic at this time and phase where we barely have time for ourselves. Even to have holidays now is pretty hard for us, to get away and just go relax your head after several jobs. I'm a servant. I'm a people's slave too. Every time they see, they want to have a conversation, they want to take pictures, they want to have some attention. It's not just my family. It's not just my immediate family. Everybody around me wants attention. And I'm thinking, okay, where am I going to find that same time to engage the government? Well, some of us could. So I'm thinking maybe your word is preaching to those who could make it happen. I am responsible for so many things, so it's really hard. If I could find the time, I will, most definitely.
Thank you very much.
Sorry. I hear you, right? But the truth is, we either think a country is important enough or not important enough. That's the truth, right? And that's why in the US there are things like Super PAC, right? Where people that share a common interest lobby for a common interest. It could be things as basic as people in the entertainment industry gathering around a one focal point to lobby for things that matter to you. But the truth is, in the end, government is important or it's not important to you. That's the end of it. So while I agree that you might not personally walk up to the National Assembly over there and protest, the truth is, if I finally think I can get away with this, I will. That's the truth. And until people hold government accountable in every form for what government does, nothing's going to change. And so it might be different. It might be you funding. For instance, I say things like election. I'm going to try and wrap this up. Right? But I say, if the cheapest state in Nigeria is going to spend 10 billion to win an election, if a person moves 10 billion from his pocket in an election, how can you ask him not to steal? Until we get to the point where we are crowdfunding elections, where I'm putting my money down, you're putting money down for an election, we are not getting serious. And so those important conversations must start to have, where we have conversations around our responsibilities to governance, understanding that our work doesn't end when we vote, our work continues when we vote, because a country continues regardless.
Thank you very much.
Can I say this? You might not know the
seconds
power of your group. You have associations. I was in the National Assembly, a bill was being passed, and the bench came with a group of people. Just the statement, what the bench said in that hearing changed everything that day because they saw him and said, D'banj, interested in this matter? You have a voice, use it. And to the SMEs, the record is that there are over 33 million of you. Come together, you can push for things. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say that we have really come to the end to this section. We'd like to invite Mr. Andy Madaki to give us a vote of thanks. In lieu of this, I'm Biodu Adewumi, and I'm signing off. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Another round of applause for the moderator, please. And a round of applause for our panelists at the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Play Network, I would like to thank all of you for your time and for your attention and your contributions to this session. We could go on and on, but we only have limited time. Most of the panelists are still here, and so you can ask them questions if you have them. Special thanks to Transcorp Hilton, Play Network, and NAA Accounting. So if you also have questions regarding accounting, you can speak to them outside. Once again, a round of applause for yourselves, and thanks for coming. See you at our next event.